Hey guys, this is Haley and Brandon from Nerdlocker, and we've got some comic book reviews for you.
Do we ever?
Oh yeah.
What's going on, guys? I got to read All-Star Western number 11. We've got the Crime Bible versus the Court of Owls. I love that we're still in Gotham. We're getting a whole bunch of old Gotham history, and these are definitely two of my favorite groups that have been famous operating in Gotham, and it's cool to see them in their early stages kind of facing off and seeing how they're going to play out fighting each other. Still got a ton of Jonah Hex action. I'm giving this book 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, as you all know, I love talking about number ones. It's a chance for me to start a new book. Sometimes they're hits, sometimes they're misses. This time, it's up for you to decide. Irresistible number 1 came out this week, and it is a Zenoscope book, so you will get exactly what you expected. Scantily clad women and a poor schmuck that for some reason is getting these women. The artwork is pretty good. It motivates me to read some more, and I don't know, I might be just perverted enough to want to read another one. So I'm going to give Irresistible number 1 3.5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, I got to read Deadpool number 58 this week, and I have to say I was a little bit disappointed. I wasn't very impressed with the storyline with the villain, although as entertaining as it was to see Deadpool get attacked while on the toilet. I mean, it's definitely got Deadpool's humor in it still, which was what was more interesting, but the storyline kind of fell flat for me, so I'm only going to give it 2.5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey nerds, Kit here, and I am reviewing Uncanny X-Force number 28, and for an overall review, I really enjoyed it. The artwork was beautiful, and I love the fact that Cable's in it. He's one of my favorite characters. It's about the X-Force team, and they get transported into the future, and they find out some bad news that they're not very happy to hear about, but for the story, I really enjoyed it, and I love the artwork, so for this, I'm giving 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Next up, I got to read The Ultimates, number 13. I'm a little disappointed that Hickman's no longer writing this book, but it's still a really good read. Captain America is back, and you finally see him with Thor and Iron Man. The big three are back together, and they're trying to put America back together with the fallout of everything that's happened in The Ultimates and Ultimate X-Men. And I'm actually interested to see how this plays into Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate X-Men. I will be picking those up as well, but you should read this. It's 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls for me.
Another fantastic number 1 from the creator Curtis Weeb comes out this week, Debris number 1. And I have to say it is just full of action and it's a great thrill ride, and the last page will definitely leave you wanting. The story's good, the colors pop, so that's always fun. It's basically an off-world that has to fight these crazy alien creatures that are like mechanics and everything. It's actually a very cleverly written book, so I suggest it heavily. Pick it up, 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, I got to read Grim Reaper number 3, and I am so enthusiastic about this book. It just keeps getting better each time I read it because it's about this love story at its core, and it just happens to be about people who leap in and out of bodies, which is what makes it really interesting. But I love that the main arc is love story, and this one's really cool because they get to know each other on a deeper level, and you just kind of learn more about their relationship, and they die in one of the most interesting ways I've ever seen a death. So it's something to definitely look forward to. I'm giving it 5 Nerd Skulls.
Next up, I got to read Batman, The Dark Knight, number 11. This is definitely the one Bat title I haven't been reading, so figured I'd pick it up, give it another shot. It's definitely drawn very well, David Finch artwork. Looks like the Scarecrow has been kidnapping victims and doing some fear experiments, and it looks like you're really getting a classic kind of Scarecrow story out of this. Still not my favorite Bat book, but it's a lot better than it originally was. I wasn't a fan when it first started, but I like this issue. I'll be reading more. I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey nerds, I am reviewing Axe Cop number 1, and this comic is really funny. The story is by an 8-year-old, and his older brother does the pencils and inks. And in this specific issue, it's about Axe Cop taking over his own town just because he wants to be mayor of it. The art's really good, the humor is just hilarious. So for this, I give it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Aquaman number 11 comes out this week, and as you know, I've been following this book very closely. Aquaman has a whole new history in this book, and they're really delving deep into it, so you get a whole bunch of new character background for the team that he used to run through. And in issue 11, it actually talks a little bit more about what's going on with Dr. Shin and Black Manta and all of their history, and it ends on one hell of a cliffhanger with a possible new weapon that Manta gets his hands on. So I recommend reading this title. I'm going to give number 11 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Last up, I got Before Watchmen, Comedian, number 2. I know it was a little fuzzy on the first comedian book, but this one clears up a lot. I really know where it's taking place. We're in Vietnam. The comedian's over there, and he's sort of, working for the government, taking care of business. This is a lot darker than any of the other books I've read so far, which is a good thing. I mean, you kind of have the contrast between stuff like the Silk Spectre book and the Minutemen, especially with the artwork, and then we get this with J.G. Jones and Brian Azzarello writing. It's a really good read. I would pick it up. It's 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, I've got Angel and Faith number 12, and I have to say, if you're still reading the Buffy comics, you may like it. It's been a while since I've been reading Buffy comics. I stopped for a reason. I mean, I feel like all the characters are really written out of character, and this one is really just, I don't know what's happened that made them so different, but I just don't feel like I'm reading the same stories anymore, and I don't know, it just wasn't fun for me. But the one thing that I will say that was positive in this book is that the artist was really good. I mean, Willow looked like Willow. I've never really seen that in Buffy comics before, so I thought that was cool, but I'm only gonna give this book 2 Nerd Skulls.
Green Lantern number 11 comes out this week. Now, I have to say, I've been following it, I've been liking it, I haven't been loving it. Number 10 blew my mind. The Black Hand is back, and we are continuing right where we left off from the Blackest Night series, and it is the most exciting book, other than Batman, going on in DC right now. So if you are not reading Green Lantern, you have to be, and I'm going to give this book 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, that is all of the comic reviews we have for you this week, but until next week, be sure to check us out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and nerdlocker.com for all your nerdy news. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Haley.
And we'll see you next week for even more comic reviews.